share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. So this is a bit of a sad story, a story that I'm not happy to be able to relate, but it's a very predictable story, right? It's a very, very predictable story. Terry Gilliam, wonderful Terry Gilliam, one of my favorite directors. I mean, I really followed his career my entire life. I loved Brazil. I loved The Adventure of Munchausen. All these films are coming out in the 80s as I was like growing up and maturing, and they really, really impacted me. I know I loved Fisher King. Real creative talent, and you know, he never struck me as being, you know, that much of a fascist. Okay, never struck me as being an evil person who hates others because of their you know, their immutable qualities, you know, like skin color, the gender, whatever. Never struck me as a bad person and a somewhat of a creative giant. So he vanished off the scene. I never saw whatever happened to Don Quixote, which he tried to make like 3 or 4 times, but basically, I saw that one with Heath Ledger. That's the last one of his movies I saw, which I thought, he's basically done. So I thought he kind of retired. So he went into theater and he was doing a like a fairy tale based story, which a show which I think would be perfect for him. I would love to have seen it. Had I known it was around, I would absolutely love to see it. It's actually one of the only things I miss about living in London. And I you know, like, I love living in Israel, but one of the things I really liked about living in London was all the culture at your fingertips. You know, you could just, I don't know if they still have it. It used to be you could go to the West End in London and get yourself like cut price theatre tickets for that day for like nothing, for like £5 or whatever. Like again, I have no idea if they probably not. They probably still don't do things like that. But I like that you had all this like fringe theatre. You had a lot of culture in London that you could access. I would have so gone to have seen this, right? No one's going to see it now because, of course, he's been cancelled because he's one of the he's intolerable. He's a bad person, and it must be erased from history. Yes, the anti-fascist fascists are back, or as I like to call them, idiot children who are destroying the world are back, getting rid of another creative giant on which there's on whose shoulders they are standing, right? And they have no freaking idea. Yeah, before I get into the story, there is a Jewish parable, right, about the nation of Amalek. Amalek are like the evil anti-Jew super beings. Basically, they are the evil National Socialists from the 1930s. They, you know, there's a few different ways of recognizing them. They always come to prominence before Jews return to the land of Israel. Kind of happened there. They're very, very upset with circumcision, right? They get very upset with. Basically, the Nationals were probably those people. Anyway, so a parable of who they are, of who this nation of Amalek is. It's a kid is riding on his father's shoulders in the forest, and eventually the kid forgets that he's sitting on the father's shoulders and thinks this is all himself. So he sees a passerby and said, "Have you seen my father anywhere? Where's he got to? He needs to look after me, right?" The kid totally forgot that he was sitting on somebody else's shoulders. So the father taught the kid a lesson, took him off his shoulders, put him on the ground. A dog comes along and bites him. I don't like it being a dog. I like doggies. Okay, I like dogs. Anyway, in the parable, the dog is Amalek, right? The dog is Amalek. It's in the same way. These idiot children have forgotten whose shoulders they're standing on, and they have personally bought fascism and totalitarianism right back, baby. Before we get into it, hit the like button, even though this is something that I guess you're probably not going to like. If you're like me, can you hit the like button? Can you hit the share button? That would be also good. I think the more people know about this, the better, and also it personally benefits me. Let's not be clear, let's not be coy that I'm asking for anything altruistic. No, I'm asking you to help me. I'm asking you to help me even more by clicking the subscribe button. Like, share, subscribe. If you're subscribed, please make sure you're still subscribed. But subscribe. I just like getting more subscribers. I used to try and think of why. I don't know why. And comment. Let me know what your thoughts are. The algorithm eats up your comments and thanks you gratefully. Right, so we'll start over here at in the Guardian, the natural home, the people who will the people who are the fascist totalitarians. Like the Guardian, they read the Guardian, right? So they're on board. So the Guardian's going to give you a favourable report. Musicals a move after unrest at Old Vic over Terry Gilliam's remarks. No, musical to have to find new home after fascists burn something down for wrongthink, right? They stopped for a minute. They stopped from a pile of books they were burning and came in and closed down a art instead. Staff at the London Theatre unhappy about comments previously made by director of Into the Woods. The team behind the musical Into the Woods say the show will go on despite the production at the Old Vic being cancelled after staff unrest at the director Terry Gilliam's involvement. What could possibly be wrong about Terry bloody Ken? This does not look like the face of evil to me, right? But okay, he's a goofy guy who made cartoons that our culture sits on, you morons. He deserves a bit of sodding respect. Oh my God! The Old Vic is yet to give an explicit reason for cancelling the season of Sometimes 1986 play, but it's understood the staff at the theatre were unhappy about the previous remarks made by Gilliam about the Me Too movement, diversity, and trans rights. I mean, all these fascist sticks that you've been beating the rest of the world with. Yes, that's it. You don't give a damn about women. You don't give a damn about women's rights. You don't give a damn about diversity. You don't give a damn about black people. You certainly don't give a damn about trans people. If so, there would be one or two more trans people within these crazy people's ranks. Those trans people and here's the incredible thing. There are two words in trans people. Trans, and people. Trans people. The advocates, the crazies, they focus on the trans. They don't really see the people aspect because they don't see anybody's people because these are bad people. So what was his crime? Yeah, kill them all! Kill all the faggots! Did he say that? No. Throw them into gas chambers. No, did he say that? No, that was you guys. Former artistic director of National Opera, John Barry. Before we go forward, I really want to thank, but I think we've got to focus on here, is comparisons to the evil National Socialists in the 1930s were very much in vogue in the last 4 years under the Trump presidency, weren't they? What utter nonsense, because fascism, totalitarianism, all the playbooks are really being done right now. The loss of democracy, freedom of the press, free speech, rolling back of many rights, all going to the fascist playbook. People often say, how did it happen? How on earth did the evil National Socialists take charge? What did they do? And people say, the leader was a very good speaker, but much more than that. The leader and those National Socialists were supported by exactly the same people as these, right? The intelligentsia, the higher education, the arts, they all completely supported the naughty National Socialists, didn't they? They were the cool ones. They were the hip ones. They were the ones with the future, right? And all kind of forgotten now. Exactly the same people. Exactly the same people doing exactly the same thing. And probably without some kind of divine intervention, and I believe in God, with exactly the same result. Former director of National Opera, John Barry, whose production company Scenario 2 is a co-producer, said, "We are focusing on finding a new home for the show. These things happen. It's not the first change of plan for a West End show or the last, and the current times everywhere are unpredictable. The current times being totalitarians taking over the world." Scenario 2, Barry added, retains the rights for Into the Woods with Gilliam directing. Last week, the Old Vic posted a brief statement saying they announced that the Scenario 2 have mutually agreed that Into the Woods would no longer take place at the Old Vic. They mutually agreed, saying, "We're fascists, so we don't want to allow you in here because we're busy having a book burning." And Scenario 2 said, "Do we have any way to protest?" I said, No! So he said, "We agree." That's basically what happened. In other words, that when the Old Vic wishes the show well for its future life. No, you don't, you lying cunts. The statement added that the ticket holders will be contacted directly. Although it was a surprise last-minute cancellation of the show scheduled for the spring 2022, a report by Stage independently confirmed by The Guardian revealed that it followed a protracted row that began when the production company was announced in May. At an all-staff meeting at the time, an Old Vic executive director, Kate Vara, allegedly addressed concerns raised by staff who felt Gilliam's previous comments were at odds with the Old Vic's culture and values. Really? What ones were they? What ones were they? What were they? Oh, I know what it must be. I know what it must be. He must have really heavily supported that awful racist Jeremy Corbyn. That was why. And he's never disavowed his support of the awful racist Jeremy Corbyn who ran the Labour Party in the ground. Is that what? No, that was you, wasn't it? Right. Yeah. Remember the people who support the National Socialists? They kind of always do, don't they? They kind of always like the people who don't like the Jews so much. Bit weird, that, isn't it? Bit weird. But yeah, let's bring it to your attention. The organizer, the organizer artistic development scheme made up of young this included members of the Old Vic 12, and the organization artistic development scheme made up of young writers, producers, and directors. Idiot children. And you could just say idiot children. It's understood that Barrett also met with Gilliam and co-producer Leah Hausman to discuss the values. I don't know why you even gave them the time and day, mate. I don't know why you gave them time and day. The Old Vic has not confirmed that this meeting to The Guardian, and a statement said to the Stage, it said, ahead of any season announcement, senior management at the Old Vic would meet with directors who program to work the season to discuss our culture and values. This happened as yeah, please, you're full of crap. The organization's decision was in partways into came soon after Gilliam posted in support, here it is, of Dave Chappelle's new comedy show on Netflix, which has been criticized as transphobic, which has been unfairly and very, very unfairly and untruly criticized as being transphobic. I'm encouraging all people to watch the new Dave Chappelle new show. To me, he's one of the greatest stand-up comedians alive today. Incredibly intelligent, socially aware, dangerous, provocative, and gut-wrenchingly funny, he wrote. Oh, what a cunt. Yeah, cancel that guy. The former Python previously courted controversy. No, he didn't! Just the same way J.K. Rowling didn't court controversy by describing Me Too movement as a witch hunt. You mean it was? I mean, something that was disingenuously used by J.J. Abrams' wife to gain power in Hollywood. That witch hunt? Yeah. Now, the fact that people they were witch hunting were indeed multiple rapists and abusers, that happened to be true. But the people witch hunting them were also multiple rapists and abusers. Okay? So no one's coming out well from Hollywood from this. Witch hunt. In the same interview, he said he was tired of white man being blamed for everything wrong with the world. Dude, white men essentially built the world, right? Built this world, this incredible world that gave and it's not because they're white, it's just because they were there at the time, but built this incredible world that gave them the freedom to be able to do that. And you know, like another parable to the 1930s Germany, right? 1930s world stage. Churchill was a very Trumpian figure, right? They hated him. The establishment hated him, right? Absolutely hated him. He came in by sheer luck, or divine intervention, if you want to look at it that way. He came in through sheer luck and fought off coups because he didn't want to surrender to the National Socialists, which they all love. When I announced that I'm a black lesbian in transition, people will take offense to that. Why? Exactly why? Okay. So now we're going to see the same story, but from a more sane point of view, from the Telegraph. Oh, the Old Vic's cancellation of Terry Gilliam is unprecedented insanity. No, it's not. It's very precedented insanity. You know why it's very precedented insanity? Because people like you, Dominic Cavendish, really, dude, you want to roll that back a bit and be a bit more, egalitarian. Yeah, a bit more man. Dominic Cavendish. I mean, really, you sound like a made-up toff name. But okay, because you hated Donald Trump. You and just in the same way you would have hated Churchill. And you would have been in the bag for it. No, it's very precedented. It's precedented through history and it's precedented through the recent times. Right? I'm sorry, you let this insanity get out of control. Right? This is pretty much on you guys. The London theatre needed Sunrise Interval to survive 2022, but a tiny minority have reportedly stabbed it in the back. So he's upset, mainly that Old Vic is going to go under because of this. And I can hear why he's upset. Gilliam-esque is the title of Terry Gilliam's 2015 autobiography, a posthumous memoir. Gilliam and Gilliam-esque is a troubling fate that has led to has befallen the Maverick director's proposed production of Stephen Sondheim's Into the Wood at the Old Vic, scheduled for Spring 22, being cancelled last week. Gilliam's indispensable contributions to Monty Python, its sketches and films. Again, he's a giant. He's an artistic giant these children's shoulders are standing on. Involved wigging its viewers into cartoonish landscapes of imagining unfettered violence and dislocation, whether it was a signature of Bear Cupid's foot making a stomping down presence felt, all this absurd flights of fantasy entailing the assault, dismemberment, and even decapitation of human figures, and cutout animation suggests a mind gleefully delighted with defying quotidian reality. I have no idea what quotidian reality is, but also darkly alert to the arbitrary forces of crushing power. Yes, very true. The relative freedom and surrealism and fascinating. Look, tell you. Okay, most of these people I call overeducated idiots. This guy actually knows what he's talking about. Freedom, surrealism, and fascination with its dystopian opposite. The manifest in its film work, the 1985's 1984 like Brazil. Gilliam offered a vision of a gut-wrenchingly grey bureaucratic society beset by Kafkaesque incident whose hero Sam Lowry dreams of fantastical love and escape. If you haven't seen Brazil, it's incredible. Gilliam hasn't been interrogated in the bowels of the Old Vic, so far as we know, but he has, as far as we can deduce, been the subject of a chilling trial in absentia by unyielding forces within the building. Man, I am in this. I relate to you 100%. You know, I took a stand, and this is exactly what happened to me. Right? The weird thing was, this happened to me by people who were religious, whose value system completely prohibits this and tells you it's the worst thing. Literally says it's the worst thing you can do, right? One of the worst things you can do. Nah, yeah, you don't give a shit. Okay, so I understand. Those in charge have remained tight-lipped, issuing just one statement. Old Vic, blah, 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 blah. We read that before. There has been a clash, one gleans from reports on the grapevine, between those wanting the production to happen and others want to see Gilliam as beyond the pale, owing to past media comments and sensitive issues, be it Me Too or Weinstein, trans issues, it's all trans issues, and race, have latter revealed. According to the state, dissatisfaction among staff and regular freelancers began back in May when it was originally announced. Yes, because you have fascists, and we have her name again. Theatre in which the executive director Kate Barrett addressed concerns raised by members of the old team. Yeah, I'm going to get into contact with her, see if she wants to come for an interview. Talks about Dave Chappelle. The consequence. So here, this is why he's so upset. The consequences, box office wise, I assume, are fairly damaging. Unsupported by public subsidy, the Old Vic only has just started to clamber way out of the pandemic. It has 1,000 seats to fill, a night to fill. A program under director Matthew Wachos has delivered a hefty hit since he took over from Kevin Spacey in 2015. Inheriting the venue, which, not yet rocked by Me Too accusations against Spacey, had rebuilt its reputation on canny mix of rebuilt by Kevin Spacey, apparently, of new work and star-led revivals. Here's the thing with Kevin Spacey. If he broke the law, put him in jail, right? There's got to be some kind of way, right? If he broke the law, I don't even know what he's accused of doing, but if he did that, try him, put him. That's our system of justice, right? And without it, we have no justice. And if you can't do that, then put him back in movies. That's really good. And if you don't like it, you have a choice between that or being a fascist. So they said, you know what? We'll be a fascist. fascist, because there's nothing bad that's going to come out of that. Do you remember the Chinese Cultural Revolution in the 60s? Nah, of course you don't, because you're idiot children. Yeah, that only caused like 60 million to die by exactly the same bullshit as this, right? It talks about Spacey in theory. Gilliam's still firing creativity and Eric E. G's on 91. Blah 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 blah. I just think now it's just waffling. Right now it's waffling. You want to read it, but go buy the Telegraph. So Gilliam has not been pulled because of content here. So somebody is upset about it. You can also see why they wouldn't want the building to be engulfed in questions related to Me Too. My understanding is, though, the crux of the matter lies with his publicly aired remarks, especially this one in June 2018, where he reflected the BBC's asserted emphasis on diversity in comedy. There is no comedy in the BBC, right? If you're going to assemble a team now, it's got to be it's not going to be 6 Oxbridge white blokes. The controller of the comedy commissioning, Shane Allen, was quoted as saying, and responded with a quip, I tell the world now I'm a black lesbian. Yes, you meet insanity with comedy, like genuinely. And why can't he identify as a black lesbian? I understand. Because you know what makes him so crazy? It's because he took the piss out of you, right? Is that a racist statement? He was attempting it. No, obviously it's not racist. But okay, these idiot children, like every other fascist, this goes on forever, right? Every other, it does actually, like every other fascist, they don't care about any right or wrong. They just want power. If this goes to a non-subsidy theater, I expect it, dude. Wake up and smell the coffee, right? Wake up and smell the bloody coffee, right? Yes. Your sector of society has bred terrible things. They've bred absolute evil. Yes. And I don't know what you're going to do about it now. Certainly, I know what you're not going to do about it. There's not going to be any mea culpa. You're not going to say, oh, you know what? Maybe that guy Trump, who we hated so much, that brought us unprecedented success, and affluence, and now we've got rid of him. Now we got fascists and a world on fire, right? Now we got like totalitarianism and everything is worse. Maybe we're wrong. Are we ever going to hear that? Of course we're not. So I'm glad that it's affecting you and you understand that it's a problem. A little bit too little, a little bit too late in my mind. Hopefully this insanity will burn itself out. I'm actually kind of thinking it will. Frankly, I'm recording this on Wednesday, November 3rd. It seems to be that the playbook in America of screaming racism about everything isn't working anymore. Because we're seeing in elections, we're seeing with things like the Eternals. I just don't think it's flying anymore. All right, it's flying over there because clearly the old Vic is behind the times. I think this insanity is about to burn itself out. One can only hope and dream that it will. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you are notified when new videos drop.